Practice exercise 5. Let's look at a few questions from this exercise, and as usual we'll be looking at alternate ways of solving the question. We'll be looking at those questions which help us clear some concept, which give us some kind of calculation shortcut, or which we are able to do it with the help of choices. Let's go to the first question, questions 2 and 3. Question 2 and 3, if there are rupees 495 in a bag in denomination of 1 rupee, 50 paisa and 25 paisa coins, which are in the ratio of 1:8:16. So 1 rupee, 50 paisa and 25 paisa. These are in the ratio of, the number of coins are in the ratio of 1:8:16. How many 50 paisa coins are there? A very simple question. You will assume the number of coins to be 8x, 8x and 16x. So the amount of money which you will get on account of 1 rupee coins is x rupees. Amount of money which you will get on account of 50 paisa coins is 4x rupees. And the amount of money which you will get on account of 25 paisa coins is 25 into 16 by 4 in terms of rupees, so another 4 rupees. This adds up to, as per the question, the total amount of money available is 495 rupees. 495. So which implies 9x is equal to 495, or x is equal to 95 is 55. X is 55. Now you can find the how many 50 paisa coins are there in the bag. The number of 55 paisa coins is 55 into 8, which will become 440. Okay. In question 2, how much money is there in denominations of 25 paisa? It is 4 into x. 4x is nothing but 220 rupees. Fairly simple question, not an issue. But you could have also looked at doing both the questions together, which means, can I look at both questions together and without doing too much of calculation get to the answer? Let's see if it is possible for this set of questions or not. Let me clean up the slide. Okay, just writing the key pieces of data again. 1 rupee, 50 paisa and 25 paisa. The number of coins are in the ratio of 1:8:16, which means the amount of money in 50 paisa coins and amount of money in 25 paisa coins has to be the same, because 8 into 50 is 400, 6 into 25 is 400. So these two amount of money have to be equal. Okay. So let's check the choices. If there are 50 paisa coins, if there are 50 paisa coins, because question 2 is all about 50 paisa coins, that means there should be an answer in question 2. In question 3, this is question 3. There must be an answer in question 3 which corresponds to 25 rupees, because 50 paisa coins, 50 paisa coins implies rupees 25. Since the amount is same, there is no 25 available here. Okay. Similarly, if I look at this 220, this means rupees 110. 110 is available here. So this and this could be one combination, which is the answer. Similarly, when you look at 440, 440 means rupees 220. 220 is available in choice A. So this circle 1 are the two. 480 means rupees 240. 240 is not available. Yeah. Okay. However, in this particular question, our task becomes difficult because of the choice called none of these. If none of these was not there, we could have worked a little more to get the answer. So in the paper, you need to remember, if none of these were not there, you actually did not need to do complete work. You could have got the answer based on comparing the choices of the two questions. Let's move to the next question. Question 6. Hansi invested some money with the bookies. He invested on the odds of South Africa winning, which was 1:3. For every rupee 1 invested, he gets rupee 3 if the result is in his favor. So he bet that South Africa will win. This was his bet. And what were the odds? 1:3. Which means if he puts in 1 rupee, he gets back 3 rupees, or his profit is 2 rupees on 1 rupee, or his profit is equal to 200%. His bet was that South Africa will win. Okay. He knew about fixing of some matches played by India and invested some amount at odds of 1:4 of India losing. Next, he placed a bet on India losing, and that is 1:4. Which means if India lost, for every 1 rupee invested by him, he will get back 4 rupees, or he will have a profit of 3 rupees on 1 rupee, which is nothing but profit of 300%. But if India won, his 1 rupee which has been invested would go out and he will have a loss of 100%. Similarly, if South Africa lost, he would have a loss of 100%. Both India and South Africa won their respective matches. It means in case of South Africa it was in his favor, in case of India it was against him. South Africa won, India and South Africa won their respective matches. South Africa played Australia while India played Pakistan. Hansi's profit on his investment was 150%. What is the ratio of investment in the two cases? Can you not apply allegation to this? South Africa won. So on account of South Africa winning, he got 200% profit. So South Africa winning meant 200% profit for him. Next, India won, but he had bet on India losing. So since India has won, the 1 rupee which he had invested has been lost completely, or it's a case of 100% loss. What is his average profit? His average profit is 150%. So this becomes 200 minus 150 is 50, and minus 100 minus 150, 250. So the ratio of investments on South Africa to India is 250 is to 50. So ratio of investment on South Africa to India is 250 is to 50, or 5 is to 1. Choice A is the correct answer. A simple question of allegation. Let's look at the next question. Hansi invested some money with the bookies. Okay, that data is still the same. Let's look at this. What was the, just to repeat the data, South Africa winning is what he had placed a bet on at odds of 1:3, and South Africa won. Next he had placed a bet on was India losing. India losing, he had placed a bet at the rate of 1:4, and India won. So while this bet, the first bet Hansi gained, on the second bet he lost. On account of South Africa winning, his profit is 200%. On account of India losing, his profit, he has a loss of 100%. Okay. Minus 100% profit or 100% loss. Let's look at this question now. If Hansi gained $200,000 and his investments were in the ratio of 3:4, find the total amount invested. This question can be done straight away by weighted average. His investments are in the ratio of 3:4. So on 3 out of 7, Hansi had a profit of 200%. So because South Africa won, so he has a profit of 200% on 3 out of 7. On 4 out of 7, which is the amount invested in India, the fraction of amount invested on India is 4 out of 7. He had a loss of 100%. So what is the overall gain or loss? It is 600 by 7 minus 400 by 7 in percentage terms, which is equal to 200 by 7 in percentage, 200 by 7%, or which implies, which is nothing but 2 out of 7. That means for every 7 rupees invested, he has a profit of 2 rupees. What is his overall profit? His overall profit is $200,000. That means his investment should have been $700,000. Choice A is the answer. I hope this part is clear. His profit is 200 by 7%, which is nothing but 2 by 7 into 100. Okay, in percentage terms, or in terms of fraction, it should be 2 out of 7. So if in percentage terms it is 200 by 7, in fractional terms it is 2 by 7, which means for every 7 rupees invested by him, his gain is 2 rupees. Okay, so since he's gained $200,000, his investment should have been $700,000. The third question. If the ratio of investments was 1:2 in the 2 matches and India lost the match, what would be the gain on his investments? Very quickly, just to repeat the data earlier, in case of South Africa winning, he would have a profit of 200%. In case of India losing, he would have a profit of, let me just quickly go back, he would have a profit of 300%. In case of India losing, he would have a profit of 300%. And that is what has happened. His ratio of investment is 1:2. So on 1/3 of the investment, which was on South Africa, he has a profit of 200%. and on 2/3 of the investment he's bought a profit of 300%. So this becomes 6, 7, 800. This becomes 266.66%. A question of weighted average. Correct answer choice C. Now, if you look at the three questions 6, 7, and 8 together, in this question number 6, I have applied allegation. I have applied allegation with the question is asking what is the ratio of investment or the ratio of investment which is this which has been asked. Hence, I have asked hence I have used the method of allegation. But in the subsequent two questions, the ratio of quantity is given 3:4. Ratio of investment is 3:4 in this question, and ratio of investment is 1:2 in this question. Since the ratio of investment is given, I have used weighted average. The ratio of investment is given, so use weighted average, not allegation. While allegation will give you the answer, it is going to be a lengthier process. Question 9. A, B, C had different amounts of money with them. C had an amount equal to average of the total. C had an amount equal to average of the total. A spent half of what he had, B 2/3 of what he had, and C spent all the money that he had. What was remaining with them was half of B originally had. What percent of the total amount was spent by three of them together? This is confusing. Let's start writing down as we read the question and then see how to solve it. So as per the question, there are three people, A, B, C. Let me assume they had A, B and C amounts with them. C had an amount equal to average of the total. So C is equal to A plus B plus C by 3. A spent half of what he had. So A spent A by 2. B spent 2/3 of B. And C spent all the money. Okay. This will not lead us anywhere. Such questions, avoid using variables and symbols. Create a situation when you can use the data in terms of numbers. Let's just start all over again. A, B, C. So we know that A, B and C are there and there is some total amount with them. The question starts by saying C has an amount equal to average of the total. So we can assume the total will be 100, but 100 by 3 will get us into decimals. So let me take a multiple of 3. Let me assume the total amount to be 120 rupees. And hence let the amount with C be 40 rupees. Next, which means the values for the amount of money with A and B I still need to fill up. Let me see if there's some data which I need to look at before I do anything else. A spent half of what he had, so that's not a problem. So I would want A to be an even number so that when it's divided by 2 it is not a problem. B 2/3 of what he had. B spent 2/3 of what he has, so let me make B a multiple of C so that I don't get stuck with decimals. So let me assume B to be 60 and A to be 20. So what is the expenditure by each one of them? A spent half his money, so he spent 10 rupees. B spent 2/3, so he spent 40 rupees. And C spent all the money, so C is also spent 40. So total amount spent is 90 rupees. What was the percentage of total amount spent by the three of them together? This is nothing but 90 by 120 is 75%. Now the moment you make it a number kind of a situation, this becomes easier. But if you make it to be, if you start working with it in variables, it makes your life a little more difficult. You can try out this with respect to some other set of numbers also, as long as you adhere to the condition that C has to be the 1/3 of total, you will be able to get the same answer. Question 10. 3 jars contain alcohol to water solution in the ratio of 3:5, 1:3 and 1:1. If all three are mixed, what will be the ratio of alcohol to water in the final solution? Are we given the quantity of volume of each of them? No, we are not. Since we are not, so obviously it cannot be determined. We know that these are 3:5, 1:3 and 1:1 ratio of alcohol to water. But what is the volume of the 3 jars? Jar 1, jar 2, jar 3, I cannot assume them to have same volumes if the question does not say it. So if the ratio of quantity is not given, I cannot find out what will be the final answer. Hence the answer has to be cannot be determined. Question 11. A lump of two metals weighing 18 gram is worth rupees 87. If their weights be interchanged, it would be worth rupees 78.6. Price of one metal is 6.7 per gram. Find the weight of the other metal in the mixture. Let us look at the standard or the conventional way of solving this question. The standard or the conventional way of solving this question is, let me assume the weight of one of the items to be x grams. Hence the other metal must be 18 minus x grams. Now let us look at this data. One of the items is 6 rupees 70 paisa per gram. The other one you can assume it to be, let's say, k. Okay. So let's look at this. So 6.7 into x. The other item costs k rupees per gram plus k into 18 minus x is equal to 87. And the second equation would be 6.7 into 18 minus x plus k into x is equal to 78.6. Now you have two equations and two variables. You can solve it, maybe yes, maybe no. But even if you are able to solve it, I can assure it will be a lengthy process. Let us forget the equation for some time and look at understanding the data. There are two metals. Price of one is 6.7 rupees per gram. The total weight is 18 grams and the original total cost is 87 rupees. So what is the original rupees per gram? The average price is 87 by 18, which is 18 5s are 90, which is actually less than 5 rupees per gram. So which means this is the more expensive price. The item is more expensive. The other one should be, the weight or the price of the other item should be lesser than 5 rupees per gram. Okay. Now it says initially the cost of the lump of two metals is 87 rupees. Initially it is 87 rupees. If their weights are interchanged, then it becomes 78.6 rupees. Why will the price reduce? Price will reduce because the more expensive item, its weight has been reduced. So just to repeat, the value has reduced from 87 to 78.6 because the weight of the high priced item has been reduced. Or in other words, we can say originally the weight of the high priced item was more. Weight of the high price item or high price metal was more than the other one, which means it was more than 9 grams. Because if the total is 18 grams, that means originally the weight of the high price item has to be more than 9 grams, or the weight of the low price item has to be less than 9 grams. So any choice which is less than 9 grams, more than 9 grams has to be incorrect, or equal to 9 grams is also incorrect. A, D, E, C are incorrect. The correct answer is 8 grams. Okay. I hope this is clear. The original okay. I hope this is clear. The two metals together weigh 18 grams and they have a cost of 87 rupees, which means the average is almost 5 rupees a gram. One of the item is 6 rupees 70 paisa per gram. Originally their price is 87 rupees for the full 18 grams. But when the weights of the two are interchanged, the high price item and the low price item, when their weights are interchanged, the price falls to 78.6. This has obviously happened because the quantity of high priced item have been reduced, which means originally the high price item was more, and which means it was more than 9 grams. Okay. because only if it was more than 9 grams, let's say 10, 11 or 12, and it becomes 7 or 8, will the value of the metal lump decrease. Okay. So the correct answer in this case has to be, since we want the weight of the other metal or the low price item in the metal in the mixture, the weight of the low price metal has to be less than 9 gram. Only one choice fits the bill, hence that has to be the answer. Choice B, 8 grams is the correct answer. So if you notice, this method, which is the conventional method, if you apply, will mean a huge amount of time, but a small understanding, a simple understanding of the question can lead to the answer without any calculation. Question 12. Several liters of acid were drawn from a 54-liter vessel full of acid, and an equal amount of water is added. Again, the same volume of mixture is drawn and replaced by water. As a result, the vessel contained 24 liters of pure acid. How much acid was drawn off initially? This question, again, you could apply your formula of successive replacement, which is final fraction of acid in the mixture should be equal to initial fraction into 1 minus x by v raised to power n, where x is the quantity removed and v is the original quantity of the mixture. Okay. Or f upon I is equal to 1 minus x by v raised to power n. Okay, so let's solve the question using the formula. The final fraction of acid in the mixture, it contains 24 liters out of 54. So it contains 24 out of 54 liters. Initially it was pure acid. So it is 100% or 1, or 54 out of 54. Initial fraction is 54 out of 54 or 1 or 100% into 1 minus x upon v raised to power 2, because this has been done twice. So which implies 1 minus x upon v square is 24 by 54. So which makes it 6 4s are 24, 6 9s are, which is 4 by 9, or 1 minus x upon v is equal to 2 by 3, which implies x upon v is equal to 1 by 3. Okay. So how much acid was drawn off initially? Out of every 3 liters, 1 liter has been drawn. We get x upon v equal to 1 by 3. So out of every 3 liters of the volume of the mixture, 1 has been withdrawn. So 1/3 has been drawn. So 1/3 of 54 should be the answer. 1/3 of 54, which is 18 liters, is the answer. So this question, the right way is formula. You could have looked at a couple of other ways also, which means every time it is withdrawn, you are left with, for example, if 10% is withdrawn, you are left with 90%. So it is nothing but two successive discounts of x% each. So let me say, every time you withdraw x%, so these are two successive discounts of x%. And what is the final thing with you? 24 by 54. So you could have applied successive increments or successive discounts also to get to the answer in this particular question. However, the best way for this question is to apply the formula straight away and get to the answer. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Question 14. Tina, Ishan, Abhishek and Fatima have a total of rupees 80. Tina's share increases by 3 rupees. Ishan's share increases by 1/3 of its share. Abhishek's share decreases by 20% and Fatima's share decreases by rupees 4. Then all of them would have equal amount of money. What is Fatima's original share? Should not be difficult, but I think this question needs to be discussed because many of us make a very simple mistake in this. Most of us will start it correctly by saying Tina plus Ishan plus Abhishek plus Fatima is equal to 80. Perfectly fine. Next, it says Tina's share increased by 3. So Tina, her share increased by 3. Ishan's, then we have Ishan's share increased by 1/3 of his share. So if the original share of Ishan was I, his new share will become 4 by 3i. It increased by 1/3, so it becomes 4 by 3i. Abhishek's share decreases by 20%. So it means it becomes 4/5 of his original share. So if original share was A, it becomes 4 by 5 of A. And Fatima, her share decreases by 4. Fatima minus 4. And all of them would be equal. Till here it is perfectly fine. Now some of you I'm sure would have made a mistake and said this is equal to 80 by 4 or equal to 20. And hence said since the new share of Fatima is 20, the earlier share was 24, but this is a wrong choice. Nowhere does the question say that these four become equal to 1/4 of the total. This is an assumption that many of us would have made in this particular question and got it wrong. So please remember, if the question does not say, I cannot assume it will become equal in terms of 1/4 of the total. So all we can say that these four are equal, this cannot be taken as the correct version. All we can say is t plus 3 equal to 4 by 3i equal to 4 by 5 of a equal to f minus 4. Now obviously you should substitute all of them in terms of Fatima in the original equation. Okay. So we can say Tina will be equal to t plus 3 equal to f minus 4. This means Tina will be equal to Fatima minus 7. Similarly, Ishan will be equal to 3 by 4 of Fatima minus 4. Then we have Abhishek would be equal to 5 by 4 of Fatima minus 4. Okay. Substitute all these in the original equation. So the equation you will get will be f minus 7 plus 3 by 4 of f minus 4 plus 5 by 4 of f minus 4 again plus f should be equal to 80. Now you'll need to solve this equation. It's not a difficult equation. You can solve it comfortably. You'll find that Fatima comes out to be equal to 23.75. The only reason I think this question is important because many of us tend to make the mistake out here. We tend to assume that their shares are equal and that equal share is equal to 1/4 of the total. This is a common mistake which is committed in this question. Please be careful. If the question does not say, you cannot assume that the shares are equal to 1/4 for each one of them. Okay. You can solve the question. I don't think it will be a problem. Let's move to the next question. There is a certain number of cigarettes in a box. They are divided in such a way that the person who gets 1/4 of the whole gets thrice of what the others get on average. Find the number of people again amongst whom the cigarettes are distributed. This question again should be done by assuming numbers. The question says that the person who gets 1/4 of the whole gets thrice what the others get on average. Let me assume others get 1 cigarette each. Then this person who gets 1/4 of the whole should get 3 cigarettes. But this is 1/4 of the total. This implies total number of cigarettes is 12. So there are total of 12 cigarettes, out of which just one person has got 3 and everyone else has got 1 each. That means the other should get total of, there should be 9 people, so that 9 are taken care of. So how many people are there? 9 people who get 1 cigarette each and 1 person who gets 3 cigarettes, total of 10 people. Correct answer, choice C. Best way to work with this question is to ensure you use numbers rather than working with variables. Don't create complicated equations. Assume number as we did out here. Let everyone get, let the average be 1. So the person who's getting 1/4 is going to be 3 because he's getting thrice of others. So he's got 3 cigarettes. So the total is 12. Because total is 12, one person has got 3. That means all the others who have got 1, they have to be 9 in number. So 9 people who get 1 cigarette each and 1 person who gets 3 cigarettes, total of 10 is the answer. Question 17th. P kg of sugar worth rupees 6 per kg is mixed with Q kg of sugar worth rupees 8 per kg. Then the resulting mixture costs 7 rupees 50 paisa per kg. What will the mixture cost if there are Q kg of sugar worth 6 and P kg of sugar worth 8 per kilogram? Again a question of allegation. While these P's and Q will tend to confuse us, we'll try to keep things simple. You are mixing 6 rupee a kg item with a 8 rupee per kg sugar item such that the average is 7 rupees 50 paisa. So the ratio of quantity should be 0.5 is to 1.5 or 1 is to 3. So you can say 1 kg of 6 rupee item and 3 kg of 8 rupee item. Now the question wants you to reverse it. So what will you do? You will take 6 rupee item and you will have 3 kg of this, and 8 rupee item and 1 kg of this. What will be the average price of this? Do the weighted average. So 3 by 4 of 6 plus 1 by 4 of 8. 3/4 of 6 is 4.5 plus 2, 6.5. The correct answer is 6.5. Don't get bogged down by these P's and Q's. Keep things simple. The moment you get P and Q as 1 and 3, you will get the answer. Question 18th. A 735 gram sample of a 16% by weight solution of iodine in alcohol. So iodine mixed in alcohol is kept for 3 days. Some of the alcohol gets evaporated and the concentration of solution becomes 20%. What amount of alcohol gets evaporated? Okay, so let's look at the basic formula. What is the quantity of iodine which is available? Quantity of iodine will be percentage of iodine multiplied with weight of the mixture. This should be equal to quantity of iodine. Okay. So if it is 20% iodine and weight of the mixture is 200 grams, it is going to be 40 grams iodine. Okay. Now what is happening to iodine? Originally it is 16% iodine. It gets to 20% iodine. Why? Because of evaporation of alcohol. So what has happened to iodine? Iodine has become, percentage of iodine has become 20 by 16 times. The quantity of iodine has not changed at all. If there, whatever was the quantity of iodine earlier in the mixture, the same quantity remains. So since the percentage of iodine has become 20 by 16 times, this means the weight of the mixture should have become 16 by 20 times. Or the loss of alcohol should be out of, if originally it was 20 grams, now it is 16 grams, or it has lost 4 grams for every 20 grams. So the loss is 4 by 20. This is the weight of the mixture. This is loss of the mixture on account of evaporation of alcohol. So I can say 1/5 of the total has been lost. 4 by 20 is nothing but 1/5 or 20%. So what amount of alcohol gets evaporated? 20% of 735 grams gets evaporated, which is 147 grams. Correct answer is choice B. So again, that basic formula of if the iodine becomes 20 by 16 times, weight of the mixture should become 16 by 20 times because the quantity of iodine is constant. This formula is again useful for us in this question. Let's look at the last question now. Question 4. The average age of students in a class of 50 is 13. Average age in a class of 50 is 13. The weights of each is directly proportional to the height, and the height is also found to be in direct proportion to the age. A student of age 11 is 165 cm tall with weight being 33 kg. Find the average weight of the class. So let's look at the data which is given to us. 50 students in the class. Average age is 13 years. Then it says weight is proportional to height, and height is also proportional to age. Or in other words, weight is proportional to age. Okay. The question says a student of age 11 is 165 centimeters tall with weight being 33 kg. Weight of 33 kg for an age of 11 years and height of 165 centimeters. Find the average weight of the class. Now, if I want the average weight, this is no use. This data has been given to us just to confuse us, to make sure we get confused and try to use it somehow. All you need to do is look at this relationship. Age of 11 gives you an average weight of 33. So age of 13 should give you an average weight of 39 kg. Correct answer, choice B, a simple question, but can become confusing partly because of the way it has been written and partly because of this data of height which has been given, which has got no use. This is superfluous data. This has been given only to confuse you. So just to wind up the session, I hope it was useful for you. My request to you would be to, as I said earlier, of all these sessions, look at questions only after you have attempted them yourself once. The purpose of these questions is to give you alternate methods to help you cut down your calculation effort, and if possible, in some of the cases, give you a concept to help you in other kinds of questions as well. All the best. Thank you very much.